Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reviewing the race that we just had, the Japanese Grand Prix, and the predictions I made beforehand. If you guys haven't watched my prediction video and you want to, it was the latest video on my page and you can check it out. I also have general predictions for the whole 2026 season. The first video on my page, I made the predictions before even watching testing, so they are quite scary. I haven't gone back to check them at all because I'm going to wait until the end of the season to see how wrong or how right I was, because we all know a lot can happen in a season, which was kind of proven today because we all thought the championship fight was kind of going to be between Mercedes and Ferrari, but really just between George and Kimi. And I think it's still proven that Mercedes are probably going to take both the titles, and it probably is going to be a fight between George and Kimi, but I think it's more of a fight between George and Kimi than we initially thought. We all thought that George would kind of run away with it a bit, so Kimi coming into play this early on is amazing. But also McLaren's finally finding their pace again. They finally got the instructor's manual to the engine, which is amazing because obviously they have the same engine as Mercedes, which does give them an advantage. Like if Mercedes take a step forward, so do McLaren, but Ferrari don't have the same thing. So I'm not surprised McLaren are back up there. Bit surprised it took them 3 races to get there, but 3 races isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things, and much better to be a McLaren fan right now than a Red Bull fan. So we'll take what we can get. But my predictions were very wrong for this Grand Prix, so don't kill me for these predictions. I usually do better, but this one, it was a bit of a silly race, to be honest, especially with the safety car that kind of like changed a lot of things, and the McLaren's getting a really good start, because you always expect the Ferraris to get a good start, but the McLaren's being there as well really shook things up, I think. But I said Charles Leclerc would get pole, which he didn't. I don't know why I put someone who wasn't a Mercedes driver on pole. I think I was just being hopeful. I don't really know what happened. I was living for that Ferrari hopium, and it didn't happen. He was kind of close, but I think Oscar was closer, but then McLaren and Ferrari both fell off in Q3, which was interesting to see. But then Kimi got pole. It was also, I'm pretty sure George did have a few issues in Q3, which is why he didn't get pole, but 2 poles in a row for Kimi is amazing, and obviously 2 wins in a row, which takes me on to my next prediction. I said George Russell would be P1, would win the race. That was not correct. I really expected him to win. Obviously, you always expect it to be either George or Kimi, and I'd given George my vote this time. And George wasn't even on the podium, which was crazy. Definitely the safety car was super unfortunate for him, but I'm also glad that it proves that Mercedes can't just like power through from any position on the grid. Like it's not always going to be Mercedes 1-2. I'm very happy that we didn't get Mercedes 1-2 because it proves that other teams can kind of be in play, probably not as much as we want them to be, but it's not like all over. It's not the end of the world. There can be other people like fighting for P2 and maybe wins one day. I do think Oscar could have held on. Other people might say like Kimi would have overtaken him eventually, and maybe he would have, but I wish we would have been able to see, because Oscar was holding on pretty well. I don't know if he was holding on from George, wasn't he? I don't know if George was holding back his pace, but George didn't seem to have like a massive amount of pace at any point during the race. He was held behind Charles for quite a while as well. And Kimi was held behind Lando and Charles. Yeah, it was just a safety car. It changed everything, but it was super surprising not to see George on the podium, so that prediction is obviously very wrong. Then P2, I said Charles Leclerc, which is again wrong, but he was on the podium, so it makes it a little bit better to be wrong. I just predicted him to be on the podium. Like Ferraris have always been making up the podiums, so I predicted him to get pole, fall down to P2, and instead he qualified P4, I believe, and then went up to P3, which is a decent race. And then P3, I said Lewis Hamilton. I expected him to be riding off that high. from getting his maiden podium with Ferrari last race. Unfortunately, he was in the position at one point after the safety car. The safety car definitely benefited him, but he just managed to fall back a bit, which was a shame. So in those top three, I hadn't predicted Kimi because my surprise prediction was that Kimi wouldn't finish the race. I didn't say for what reason. I said it could be a mechanical DNF, a crash, a DNS, like literally anything, but he wouldn't finish the race. And how wrong was I? He got pole and converted that into a win, which is very impressive, just not what I was expecting at all, but I'm very happy for him, especially being the first teenager to ever lead the World Championship is crazy. So I wonder if he's going to be able to hold on to that lead. I think the lead will swap quite a lot between George and Kimi throughout the season, depending on like what issues they have with the car, just who gets luckier kind of thing, because they're both very good drivers. They're both very consistent as well. I would say George is more consistent. He has had a bit of bad luck with his car these last couple of weekends, but Kimi has made the most of it, and Kimi has driven very well, so you can't really fault either of them. So it will be very interesting to see who it goes to. And who knows, maybe we will get a McLaren fighting with them as well, but we'll have to wait and see, especially now that we've got a 4-week break, basically a spring break, so people can work on their cars, teams can work on their cars. It'll be interesting to see where we're at when we come back and whether there'll be any kind of adjustments to the regulations, because we have some of our well-liked drivers not enjoying it, and when people like Verstappen are speaking out, you should do something about it. And also Lando, basically everyone's saying they don't like the regulations. Like they all have those PR answers of, oh, it's kind of fun, like we do get to do a lot of overtakes, but I don't think any of them are loving it, except maybe Lewis Hamilton, but I think he just loves the car this year. I don't think it's so much about the regulations. I think that it's just Ferrari's finally made a good car and he's just joyful again, full of whimsy. And then I said best of the rest would be Ollie Behrman, which now hurts me looking at it because obviously he had a crash, he DNF'd. I was so shocked when I saw him in the barrier. I was like, oh, it's a Haas. And then I realised it was Ollie, and I like gasped. It was so bad. And him limping away from the car, obviously Haas has confirmed that he's okay, no fractures, no anything, he's good. But it was super scary to see like someone limp away from an accident. I think, yeah, he recharged a lot quicker than the Alpine in front of him. Franco Colapinto was slowing down too much. Ollie didn't expect him to slow down that much, had to take avoiding action and slipped, which isn't great. But I think I wouldn't even call it a rookie mistake. I think it was just unfortunate, and I think he'll bounce back. So I wouldn't say it's anything to worry about. Obviously it's good he has 4 weeks to kind of recover from it. But I was so shocked because I really thought he was going to be up there. I was also shocked when he went out P18 in qualifying. I don't really know what was going on this weekend for Ollie, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. He's had these bad weekends before and he always bounces back, so I think it will be fine. I said Fernando Alonso wouldn't start just because of how bad the Aston Martin car is, but I'm pretty sure he finished all of the laps. Lance didn't because he had a issue with his car, but Fernando finished all of the laps, which is very impressive. So that prediction was wrong, and I also said Isaac Hadjar would DNF, and that prediction is wrong. So I wasn't doing very good, but he didn't DNF, but the Red Bull car is nowhere to be seen. So it's not great. They definitely need this spring break. Hopefully they can do something with the car during it, because I would love to see. Obviously, we saw a bit of a battle between Max and Isaac, but then Isaac got off on the wrong foot and like got overtaken by Ocon soon after that. I would love to see the pace difference when the Red Bull car is good, because also I think with the Red Bull car being so bad, Max isn't as bothered. Like obviously he's still performing pretty well, but I don't think he has like that motivation to like drive his heart out kind of thing. Like I don't know if you guys saw the video of him waving to Pierre Gasly when Pierre Gasly overtook him. So I don't think he has motivation with these regulations. Okay, and then I've decided that every week for my predictions, I'm going to choose a team or let a random generator choose a team, and then I'm going to say which teammate I think will come out on top. So I chose McLaren, and I said Oscar will out qualify, but Lando will end up higher than Oscar in the race. And I was half right. Oscar did out qualify, but he also beat Lando in the race. So I was wrong for that one. Very happy to see Oscar even start a race. Firstly, race a couple of laps. Secondly, and like finish on the podium was very nice to see. We are so back. I'm joking. And then I said they will both finish the race, which they did, and I'm very grateful for, because that's the first race of the season that both of the McLarens have started and both of them have finished. So that's fun. Then I said Pierre Gasly would be 8th, and he ended up being 7th, so not far away, because I thought Ollie Lerman would be up there. So I expected Ollie to be 7th and then Pierre to be 8th. So I was close enough, I would say. And then I said Franco Colapinto would be 9th, but he wasn't. That was Liam Lawson. And then I said Alex Albon would be 10th, but they seemed to give up on his race like 10 laps from the end and just started using it as a practice session. So he ended up 20th. The Williams car is still nowhere to be seen. Again, another team that could really benefit from this spring break. But that's my race review and reaction to my predictions. They were not very good this race, but hopefully we'll come back fighting after the spring break and I'll be able to do some good predictions, but we'll see. I believe it's Miami is a race after the spring break, and I love Miami, so that should be an exciting one. I do plan to get a F1 journal video out during the spring break, and also a couple of book videos, so if you guys also read, stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.